one style of practice regimes. It can be many. I mean, OG winning Frankfurt last year on the back of we're just going to play lots. Secret winning Shanghai on the back of we haven't played for 2 months. Very interesting dynamic. We are into draft where bans have already begun. Anything that stands out so far, Gods? It's fairly standard, you would assume, but
it feels like if you would
bounty?
swap the drafts around, it would still work. As in, I could see Newbee banning out the heroes that Secret banned out against them, vice versa. It's
it looks like Newbee banned the heroes I expected Secret to ban.
Exactly.
And Chandra's ban against Chuan, fair enough. The bounty one is more of a general kind of patch, and you're a Chinese team, you're probably going to pick bounty hunter kind of thing.
Bounty also, when you have second pick, is stronger because you don't want to first overall pick bounty. It's like a nice hero to pick up in a duo.
Okay, so we've seen a disruptor before.
Yeah, disruptor stock is rising continuously over the past few months, just as that hero that punishes any slight mistakes, and it basically means when your opponent's engaged in a fight, you're committed. There's no like let's just hit and run, let's get a kill and then back off. You get pulled back in by the glimpse. And it fits Newbee's playstyle really well with how they just brawl a lot and run at you. There's just no escaping.
Importantly too, if you're pushing into towers, you send someone back who TPs into defend, and all of a sudden numbers advantage and you keep the ball rolling. Who's that bat going to be for? KP?
KP or Moo? Do you like Moo on bat right now, Gary?
I'm not sure. I've really liked him on the kind of, not farming mids, but semi-farming mids. The DK, the Viper, the guys that can scale, but they don't scale like indefinitely through to late game, sort of mid to late carry-ish heroes.
I know KP's preference from talking to him is normally to play these heroes that can struggle the start, but then just in the mid-game farm, while How is one of the best fighting carries out there. He wants to play aggressive, he wants to fight. So KP's preference is to maybe struggle early on, get like the most out of a tough lane, and then get space to catch up because of how plays. So that's a mouthful. So that's where I feel Batrider isn't really necessarily a KP. It's more likely to be for Moo than KP on his preferences and just the team, how they like to utilize him.
Universe Darkseer, Highlight Eye Lion, signature heroes ready for Team Secret coming out. And yeah, the heroes on the side of Team Newbee are strong, but they're not really heroes that they're specifically known for.
Team Secret's turn to ban.
Yeah, Newbee very open-ended with this Disruptor Batrider pick, and kind of curious to see where they go from here. To me, it seems like they're, in some ways, perhaps waiting to see what Secret's going to be doing before they commit to any of, before they reveal too much about their strategy, which is very different to what they've done up until now. Because normally they're just like, we're going to play our game, do our picks, and we don't care what you're going to do.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? It kind of feels like maybe they shouldn't, because it's been going so well. Why try and change it?
Yeah, I think it's perhaps shows they respect Secret a lot, but perhaps they playing a bit nervous or scared in the draft.
We've seen Complexity go. Lion, Darkseer, Elder Titan.
He's a hero that Puppy has played or picked for his team quite a lot in the past as well.
Since Na'Vi even.
Yeah, go back to Na'Vi days. Normally it was hero playing the support T back then, I guess, not Puppy, but...
It's interesting to see so far Newbee kind of deviate away from Kaka, Phoenix, and Wisp, and leaving that until second phase. So they've still got the option to go for that kind of death ballish kind of lineup with maybe a Juggernaut or a Lifestealer for How. But it's very open for them as well, where they're saying, we've got 2 forms of initiation or counter initiation. We're not showing any of our cards just yet. I think that's why, going back to what you're saying, Shiva, that Secret are trying to kind of play along with that, where they know that if they pigeonhole themselves too much, they can be punished a lot.
Yeah.
As a Phoenix ban, I wouldn't be surprised to see like the Wisp ban as well for Kaka.
Well, that's the thing, when you get to that second stage of bans, a player like Kaka, what his heroes that he wants to go for are going to be in that second stage. So if you want to just ban out his kind of strongest heroes, the Io and the Phoenix, you can do so. He can play the Disruptor depending on what they want to do for Chuan as well, and you're more likely to see Newbee go into like a typical kind of dual support setup. You don't want to go too greedy when you're versing a Darkseer, otherwise he gets a lot out of the lane. Unless you have I guess House kind of typical carries match up pretty well against the Darkseer.
Jug Lifestealer.
Jug Lifestealer. Gyrocopter, I guess we are not seeing as much anymore. And there we go. Io Phoenix ban out Kaka. Put him on either onto the Disruptor or another support for him.
What else has he been playing recently?
He played a support Kunkka yesterday.
Oh, that's true, actually.
10 seconds
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Yeah.
I mean, they won with it, but it wasn't an easy game.
Remaining.
Pretty good when you force the fights to start with the Batrider, and then you, like, when you're secret, like, that's the way the Batrider goes in lasso someone, Dark is going to try counter initiate. You have the boat to go flying in, gives your team the Coco's rum, provides a lot of sustain, so not something I'd expect them to necessarily stag right now, but it could be on their mind. Both teams' drafts are like wide open. Like, it's very different to what we saw Alliance doing, where they pick up Beastmaster plus Batrider in the first turn. You're like, well, they've just revealed pretty much what their kind of strategy is going to be.
Earth Spirit's been left in here, and that's something that Kaka pick up as well. You know, Disruptor kind of solid laning support, can zone people out with Thunderstrike. Earth Spirit gives you that kind of dynamic movement from rune to rune, and maybe even giving Batrider an even better laning stage. But
They will
Gyro
go
for
Gyro,
how?
so they want the strong laning carry against the Darkseer. This does make you think it's perhaps, well, they need to pick up either a farming call for KP in the offlane or a good farming mid. You don't want to run Gyro as like your lone carry. Doesn't take objectives particularly well and doesn't scale amazingly into the late game.
That's a nice pick there of Night Stalker, giving them vision for the mid game, but also like a semi-block pick against the bat Night Stalker.
I haven't seen him play that often.
10 seconds remaining.
But yeah, the vision is going to be really important against initiation of the Batrider.
5 seconds remaining.
Often you'll look at like a jungling Night Stalker and be like, it's greedy, but most of these jungling Night Stalker, as soon as it hits 4 minutes, we're seeing them come out of the jungle and apply pressure to lanes.
Yeah.
It's very different to like the Enigma where you're farming
Where you're
even
passive
longer.
and yeah.
So we'll see what Newbee's planning. It does mean that the safe lane for Secret's not. It's going to be a strict dual lane. Like Night Stalker, not a hero, can do a whole lot to help. If he's in the jungle with an Iron Talon, KP's off lane should go very well for the Batrider, depending on what Envy plays. But Spectre, Ember both banned out, so they did target Envy with those 2 bans. I wonder if we're going to see like anything. Envy's hero pool is very like he plays those unconventional carries, like the Terra Blades. I guess well, Spectre before was a trendy pick.
When we've seen the Terrorblade so far, has it always been with the healing support in the back? I feel like it has.
It seems with Phoenix.
Terrorblade has often been with some kind of like steroid hero, like you know an Ogre Bloodlust, an Invoker with Alacrity, stuff like that, or like Healing Ward, just to keep him going, because one of his earliest peaks is very early on, like 15 minutes, when you've got that 4 in Metamorphosis, you've got your first like Yash or your drums or something, and you want to just go and destroy towers and fight.
Life Stealer, so
Turn to ban.
Envy hero that can fight very well with the Darkseer, benefits a lot from having Iron Shell as well as Surge. The mid game does give them ways to defend towers and fight into the team fight of the Gyrocopter.
So Puck or Queen of Pain ban from Newbee here?
Like, I always feel like thing in my mind is telling me Arteezy wants to play Shadow Fiend.
Yeah?
Shadow Fiend works really well
against
with
Bat
Secret
Tusk.
Scrap. Yeah,
like Tusk is
okay.
going to roam on you with Ice Shard, sticky Napalm and Firefly.
Yeah, I guess
And
you don't get much help in the lane stage.
Yeah, you've got
as a
no
Night Stalker the general.
You've got no saving support or like reaction TP. I'd be super scared with an SF.
Grand Puck.
I think you just look for like Life Stealer bombs, or like someone who can do well against Batrider and also offers.
Yeah, so you're not going to get much help in lane, so you're either saying Arteezy may get ganked once or twice, you have to accept it, or you're going to pick him a hero that can get away from Bat Tusk, which is Swap or Wind Ranger, probably. Wind Ranger seems to lose a lot of games, but
Hey,
still a hero I like.
Fnatic won 1 game yesterday with Wind Ranger. That Orchid Rush was pretty nice. What about Newbee? What do they need? Still their offlane hero for KP, more likely than not.
Depending where back goes. And that's the thing I really like about Newbee Draft is that this bat is that flexible either mid or offlane
Floating hero.
Yeah. And they have the last overall pick of draft, so they can wait to see what Arteezy picks if they want to grab some kind of mid that counters it, like when they ran the Viper mid versus the Legion Commander and just dominate the lane, win the game off of that. They can do so, or they can send the bat mid and then pick up a kind of pseudo carry offlaner for KP.
Which one do you prefer?
Depends on the last pick, I think. I think it entirely.
They haven't decided yet either.
I don't. I'm not. It's hard to know what's going on in Newbee's head, but I'd say there's a good chance they are not committed with this Batrider to a set lane right now until they see what Ortiz's hero will be. Because like you don't know if he's gonna if the Secret are gonna be playing like a more late game intensive mid farmer like a Shadow Fiend, or if they're gonna be looking for a tempo controller mid. I guess the Puck's taken out, which is the obvious tempo controller mid. But...
I think the Dragon Knight removal is also pretty obvious, as Moo has been playing really well on that.
I think it was something like a DK. I was looking towards the Tide as a good all-around ban against Newbee. Good offlane here is pretty good. Time to make a choice though.
Yeah, so final pick.
It's with Secret, it's just so hard to tar. Now they're playing a new patch. They did play ESL Manila, but even that was not their best showing. They're going to be looking to change things up since then. They've gotten to watch all the other teams play, so...
There's even... It's the smallest... No, it's the Queen of Pain. Yeah, there's like the smallest chance that you maybe put Night Stalker mid. We used to see that a little bit against Batrider, just the fact that once the first Night comes in, the cycle is there, so you don't get killed by the Batrider so early on. Queen of Pain was like the logical... blink away from Batrider.
Was it Moo that played Viper? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How would you rate Viper in this matchup?
It's pretty good. If you want to, as far as running Bat offlane, I think Viper's one of the better mids left. The Viper strike really good against fighting into the Life Stealer.
Lane domination against Queen of Pain, and with the Tusk added in, you can shut her down decently. Corrosive Skin's great against Shadow Strike.
So if you want to run the Bat mid, then I quite like Nature's Prophet in the offlane just because it's fast tempo, but Invoker comes out.
Wow.
Interesting.
Okay, how'd you like that, gods?
Oh, sure. Want to see how... I haven't seen Moose Invoker
that we didn't catch on the screen. It's just like, oh no. That's kind of thrown you.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think if it's going to be Quaswex or Exxon Invoker, because I think it's...
So I think it's a difficult choice. I think the toss-up is laning phase, Wex Invoker is going to go decently.
Quaswex Invoker is really frustrating for a Quap to play, because you can't get the blink off easily. With Cold Snap, Tusk comes in, you can pressure the lane quite hard.
Exot Invoker gives you double Forge Spirits, allows you to fight, combo with the Static Storm.
They're on dire side, and that's where the Exot Invoker able to take objectives. I mean, talk about objective gaming, you go back to that, I think Newbee have the best draft to take well here.
Alright, thank you. I'm going to have to cut you short there because we are going to head over to the game, which also means rejoining our commentary team. We've had a little bit of a change in the commentary box. It's the Master of Gifts who has returned. That's right, welcome, Toby1.
I'm glad that's what I'm now known for. Gifts. It's a lot better than a lot of the other things you can be known for. That is very, very true. That's very, very true. Gives a cosplay coming to you after this game. I'm Toby1. I'm joined here by Blitz as we get to do one hell of a game. Secret going up against Newbee. The panel seemed to be a little bit focused on the Invoker at the very end of that, but I want to know, like, what stands out for you when you look at these drafts from the two teams?
I think Newbee's draft is kind of classic Newbee. They want to go for the early 5-man aggression, and this is something that coming into this event, you were going to have to worry about if you were going to run into a team like Newbee, because they just run at you now. There was a time period where I think their meta just didn't favor them, where they had to sit back, farm, be a little bit more patient. But now the 5-man gather up, let's just kind of outplay you in the team fights. This is what won two of these players at TI. And Chuan obviously one of the more adjustable ones. Kaka has been playing out of his mind, and KP is very balanced. But on the other side of things, you've got Secret, who have a team fight lineup that can match them. Obviously, you've got good individual cores to work with.
Oh, Kaka starts the snowball. You'll bring 3 in. It's the 5-man running. You kind of line up, but Envy, well, he rages up, and Pylai Die is there for the perfect 3-man stun, allowing them to just disengage from the Newbee aggression.
Really well done by Envy. He saved his skill point, decided to go for the early rage. Almost nobody does that, and a large part of that is just because in the laning phase, it won't happen to help you that much. So by him being able to save it, you're in a good spot.
They do have a little bit more of an objective Newbee with their movement through, so they managed to block out 3 of the Radiant camps, making it very difficult for Secret to either start stacking, pulling, but Secret don't really have, like, unless we're looking at the Darkseer, great clearance these camps. So is this as much of a concern?
No, not really. It's gonna be one of those annoying parts, but it'll still be okay overall. More to just slow down the Night Stalker as much as you possibly can. Puppy still has one of the camps to work with, and he's most likely just going to dual lane with Universe. This is a lane that they can do decently against.
I'm loving this from Pylai Die. He actually managed to get the stun over on KP, stopping him from getting the easy pull on the bottom lane. So the Batrider's having to run all the way around, but on the top lane, they still keep paddling out. Sean dropping low, these iron shells. Sean can't do much more. Karka's coming up from behind, but he just snowball save Sean. It's exactly what he does, taking it up to the Radiant Creep Wave. Very far will be consumed, but the Void slowing up Sean. He needs more time, but he just won't have it. They will claim the first blood. They're looking for more. Is how? Rocket Barrage damage, not enough to kill off Puppey. Even with the extra help from the Thunderstrike from the dead Chuan.
Very well done by Universe in that fight. He runs forward to cop some damage so that the Rocket Barrage doesn't only land on his Night Stalker. And this is what I was talking about. This lane is going to be incredibly hard for the Disruptor to solo zone out. And Tusk, a hero that traditionally wants to roam around the map, is going to have to be stuck up here. So that's already going to be a laning win for Secret, but getting away with the first blood is going to be even better for them.
Still want to keep my eyes closely on this bottom lane to see how much KP gets. As far as timing goes, you're talking about Tusker getting stuck. Does that mean we then, goodbye Puppey. Does that mean we actually then look to the Blink Dagger timing of the Batrider? Is that what Newbee, is that when they can start like controlling the tempo of this game more?
Normally what you see with Newbee is that they have at least 1 or 2 heroes that can gap close or take the fights early on without the use of items, and I think that's a really key distinction to make, because sometimes teams will just pick 1 or 2 solo initiators that desperately need that Blink Dagger before they can get in. That's often the scenario where we'll see a Beastmaster that goes to the Necro book 1 and then he has to make the change into Blink Dagger instead of going for that Necro 3. So in a game like this, to have something like the Snowball, like the Disruptor Glimpse, so you don't have to just rely on the Batrider.
A little bit of trouble? Okay, not that much trouble. Sorry.
Nah, it's fine. You thought he was in trouble?
Yeah. I actually thought it was going to be more trouble because I was looking for Sean's second level, but it just doesn't exist.
That's going to be a regen up at top for this Queen of Pain. It's going to help out a lot in this lane already.
Big S to return to the top lane now. Bring back the combination with Universe, but Universe still a little bit lower mana, hasn't finished up that Soul Ring just yet. So we can't spam Iron Shells for days up here. A little bit more patient.
And Moo in this mid lane is already out of mana. There's 9 mana left to his name. Not a whole lot to work with. He's been spamming for the most part, and every single time the Queen of Pain runs forward, he is trying to trade with Cold Snap, but just not getting the better of it. The stat-heavy build from the Queen of Pain making it difficult for him to approach, and you're seeing that reflected in the CS as the Queen of Pain has more than double the farm of Invoker so far.
Yeah, the 14-6 versus the 6-for-1 Moo. But how do you even change this? As you said, like Tuskar is stuck up on this top lane. Karka cannot rotate. So you're kind of locked in this world where Moo just has to accept the fact he's by himself. Meaning TZ is just able to continue to dominate the lane and get more and more levels.
Yeah. This is going to be one of those situations where I think it's up to Moo to just kind of catch up. He'll have some opportunities with Sunstrike later on into the game to catch up anyways. Doing a good job though, making sure that Universe is zoned out largely out of this top lane. This is exactly what you want to do to a Darkseer. You want to make sure that he doesn't get a lot out of the lane, and you want to force him to the jungle if you possibly can. Because Darkseer is meant to be one of those offlaners that does keep the supports up here.
Well, so far Universe is still going to hold on to that top lane.
Yeah, they might be able
he's
to
kind of on
in.
the same level as like KP. They both got the same.
Oh, there's a sentry already.
They see Puppey. It's almost like it's one of the original D wards.
Yeah, it's a good ward to place too. Times when the first rotation of wards come out, that's where the mid player is going to place it, so they have the angle. It's both a preemptive play and a defensive one.
But it says Secret through that ward a lot more defensively on the high ground.
At bottom.
Yeah, KP. There's the movement in from Puppey. But waiting to see him attack on towards the mid. KP can't make it to the cliff, or can he? He's over the cliff. Can spend his money, can die, like, actually die to Roshana's Queen of Pain. Actually dives under the mid lane. Karka and Moo are there to actually turn that one around. So the lane which was going so well for Arteezy, now not so well.
And KP even going to come back for the stack, so not even losing out too much in this lane.
Surprised Arteezy, like, he must have really thought he had that kill on Moo if he's going to go under the tier 1 tower.
Yeah. That was a scenario where I think you just wanted to try to get the advantage on the Invoker. Wasn't able to do so. Good news for them though is still a walk away with kill at top, so they're not doing too badly. 1-1 is the scoreline. Their Lifestealer's getting more or less absolute free farm. Queen of Pain is still way ahead of the Invoker. Even in net worth, you can see she's only 40 gold behind, despite the fact that Queen of Pain died.
How do you actually want to build the Lifestealer in this game? Because I'm looking at all like the initiation and control factors that Newbee have, which seem to be like plentiful. How does Envy get himself into the fight?
You're probably going to go for the armlet, but they have a lot of different ways to deal with armlet. I think that's a cool part of Newbee's draft. You've got Rocket Barrage, the constant damage of the Invoker, the Disruptor, Static Storm, of course, Batrider being one of the best with that Firefly. And in this mid lane, Arteezy might just get jumped on again as Kaka's thinking about it, but it would require the Queen of Pain to have to offensively use the Blink first.
It'll also be really difficult with that haste rune sitting on top river. It would have been very easy for Puppey just to pick one up and move in to help him out. Instead, no one initiates, and it means Queen of Pain can bottle herself up a haste rune.
Yeah, that's a kill rune. There's an opportunity for something to happen. Unfortunately, Moo, 3 levels of that Quas, going to be really hard to harass him out anyways. Usually when you play these mid-heroes against Queen of Pain, she can chip you down using the dagger, put you into a position where Scream ulti kills you. But Moo just almost always switches to the Quas as soon as he takes damage, so a lot of that chip damage is negated. On top of that, he sent himself a new fresh set of tangos, already preparing for that.
Universe, top lane, the wall's gonna hold him in with a call down on Rocket Barrage. Universe will not be able to escape. Puppey's also there, but say hello to extra help. Now TZ comes in with Eternal Envy. They go on Hal, but Eternal Envy locked out by Shards. Just means the Puppey will be the man to finish the job.
Queen of Pain trying to go for more, but unable to grab anything. Of course, that's a worthwhile trade. I think the safe lane carry from Newbee just to the Darks here, but that was a heavy commitment in rotations.
KP's trying to have a crack at Piledie in bottom lane. He's managed to get 4 sticky napalm charges up because he's come so close now. Piledie turns, gets the stun. The sticky napalm's not going to wear it off just yet with 5 stacks on him. KP, he doesn't have enough damage. The stick charges will keep him alive, and now KP turned on by Universe as well as Puppey. He'll make a break for the tree line. The Sunstrike, Piledie, he walks into it. It at least cancels off the south of Puppey. He chased KP into the trees. He'll TP himself away to safety after finding the kill over on Puppey and having Piledie also forced to TP back injured.
That is so sick. KP manages to get a kill, even forces some heroes back, forces the rotations, and really well done by him.
And that's the space creation you're really looking for, right? Like, it finally can give the space up on the top lane for Tuskar to move around.
Yeah, by making that play at bottom especially. You force 3 heroes, you get some map control and vision on the map. You force the Darkseer down here too. A lot of things were done a little bit inefficiently by Secret, but they thought they had the opportunity for a kill. They commit very hard for it. And now Batrider is decent position. At one point was really quite far behind, but now 900 gold built up, has the Tranquil Boots, killed one of the supports. That's where we're really going to start to see the advantage for Newbee, because their supports, Bond's about to hit level 6 once he picks up the Tome of Knowledge too.
If we actually see the levels, everything is neck and neck. Every single role is on exactly the same level. It's the 8s for the mids, the 7s for the safe lanes, the off lanes are 6, and then the 5 and 4s for the supports.
Yeah, that initial 1k lead that they had after the first flood. These teams are both so evenly matched.
Arteezy's looking to try and change the balance of power, moving into the cover of smoke here with Piledie, but that smoke won't last forever.
He's going to get spotted too, and these are a lot of heroes that committed for this.
It's another infest move as well.
Yeah, Envy still isn't popping out of him, so either you dive bottom right now, they make this play immediately, or you disengage her, because now 2 cores are not getting anything out of the map. I think it's about time to jump out.
Mid lane, Puppey, he's in trouble. Sunstrike's going to be off target. Charges, actually not enough to keep him alive. The damage from Moo was enough. Especially with the Cold Snap, Puppey wasn't capable of retreating. Meanwhile, on bottom lane, KP chasing down Piledie once again. You move in towards the mid, and then KP just goes ham over on that Lion. He hasn't got the kill yet, and now the movement comes in from Arteezy and Envy. We're able to arrive just in the nick of time to save Piledie.
It's a long con play. Thought they were gone, thought they were headed mid, but Queen of Pain didn't have the TP up, obviously, so... And the Lifestealer really wanted to commit for that kill. Ultimately, kind of works out for Secret. That still was a lot of lost time, though. Killing the Batrider, slowing him down, getting rid of some of that unreliable hold.
Still concerned, though, that Lifestealer is getting behind the net worth. Because Hal, while all that movement's been happening, you said, like, the core's not getting a lot of farm. Hal's been having the time of his life up on top lane, and is actually adding pressure to the tier 1 tower. He's looking better. You've got that recovery from Moo. He's finished up his Hand of Midas now, just under 11 minutes into the game.
Yeah, mid's being pinged out right now.
They want to go again.
This is an okay opportunity for them. Cold Snap is queued up, but our team should have the angle for this.
He's also got Sonic Wave. Moose gonna go Invis. They don't have any detection. Okay, that's not great, especially when Sean's gonna drag our TZ back, but there is no play to come from this. Who doesn't even have a single ability invoked that he can use.
Still, the Invoker's starting to finally make his impact in the game known, as manages to get out. He's got a Midas. He's going to play this a little bit more passively, and this is going to force Secret into a situation where they just have to play a little bit more aggressively than they want to. Basically what happens when you have an Invoker that has a Midas. He's just going to sit back, farm, do things with Forge Spirits, come in at the last second, set up for Sunstrikes. Juan's going to hit a 6 at a reasonable time. Highlight Die, unfortunately, is so afraid. Normally what happens in these games, Toby, and what we saw a lot of Shanghai, is whenever Eternal Envy would make these moves and rotate out, this would be Pilot Die's time to farm, but
yeah,
you see every single time the Bat Rider's coming to punish him, and eventually 1+ hero is going to come down and make life even harder for him.
I think right now he's just concerned about Kaka, because Pilot Die was actually at 1/3 of his life, but he's slowly regenerating back up. That's the reason why Kaka threw that Observer Ward back behind the Tier 1 tower. He's waiting for Pilot Die to retreat out, so he could just get the quick snipe and give a Tusker momentum.
Yeah, how a top. It's pretty unlucky there. Doesn't get the last hit on the tower, but still, he has had relatively uncontested farm. He hasn't been forced to rotate at all like we normally see gyrocopters do once they pick up the level 6. And he's had a really stable laning phase, aside from that one death.
KP's got his blink. 12 minutes in.
A little bit delayed. Mainly because he was going for those kills, trying to force out. I think his lane presence kind of justifies this, actually.
Sure, it's interesting to see too, like, Secret start pushing in through the bottom. They scan out the Secret shop, maybe wondering if you do have someone over there looking for a stack, but it's Newbee who are already preparing a defense. Tusker was still hiding inside the tree line, so you've got Kaka behind the Secret line. Now, this is a 5-man move here from Team Secret, and Kaka,
they're gonna find him.
well, Universe, yep, walked into the tree line. The TP was actually starting by Envy, so he'll stick around. They go for the snowball out. Kaka, he's keeping him in the tree, still surviving, and now KP jumps in for the last 2. They hold RTZ inside the storm. The Sunstrike bonus damage finds the kill, and Eternal Envy in the middle. There's the Finger of Death, finally able to kill off KP. So it's a double kill for Envy as they search for more. Envy down to the tree line with Universe. They want to get out, and Envy's actually going to hitch a ride into the infest of Universe, so he will survive. Puppy will not be so lucky, however. How's rotation? After such a great time up on top lane, he gets a double kill.
Yeah. Still, gold favor goes in favor of Secret, but barely. And you would have really liked to not lose that Queen of Pain there, as the Invoker and the Gyrocopter both walk away relatively healthy on the Invoker. Didn't take any sort of damage there, but how? A lot of it, but gonna have the Ogre Club now. Gonna make it a little bit harder for them to kill him. Bat Rider, of course, would have liked to survive that just so he could continue to scale. You need more than just the Blink Dagger, of course, on that hero. And in mid, Chuan TP's in, does not have the ultimate though, just wants to drop that ward. B could find an angle for Kaka to make that initiation. He does have all of his abilities up, and
they got the 4 points up in
it.
Glimpse as well. If they can keep that vision up, then you could just pull him all the way back in. The Sunstrike binding up the Cold Snap, flipping out easy with the Walrus Punch. Kaka, he's dropping down low, but they have enough damage to reach him. The ice wall is there. They can't walk through it. Kaka on 4 HP is able to get back to his side of the river with the shards flying out too. Well, Envy, who do you want? Universe is searching forward, but you can't find anyone. KP fireflies himself away to safety, then makes the most of it to start up the stack farm.
That was so well done by Moon, that fight. That ice wall right here, there was some weird angle where it spilled over and Eternal Envy was trying to make his way from the jungle, but it just collapsed on that entire mid area that they had to walk through. Their own version of the wall is Secret. They lose their Queen of Pain. Really well done by Newbee. The snowball giving them the vision to continue to track down the Queen of Pain. Wasn't sure how they were going to do it at first. Newbee, even though the score's only 5-7, 2-kill difference, it's the overall map control, just that they're making moves on cores mainly.
But you can still see their advantage, like, if you don't have to field through map control, they're about 3k gold in front and just over 2.5k in experience. Things just becoming more and more available on the map for Newbee. Even wait to see these progressions of items, because we had that hand of Midas on the Invoker a while ago, now he's got the drums up. Still holding onto those infused raindrops. He got those up very, very early. Very good item for most mid laners, especially against the Queen of Pain. Makes it really hard to jump and burst down. Meanwhile, at bottom, Highlight Die smartly getting out of there, understands that he is in some danger, and Newbee have a lot of ward vision at this bottom half of the map. They're bringing
narrowly
more
missed that ward though. They have to know that it's up though. This is a really common ward.
A secret. Okay, they have the decision and they're coming over. It's a 3-man smoke again. RTZ seems to basically be playing piggyback with Eternal Envy. They're gonna try and defend this tier 1 tower, slipping in through the rear. They put down their own obs. I think Puppy just got scattered up by the Dire Observer, so Newbee's aware of this too. They're making a break for the tree line. KP will give them the flying vision from Firefly. They do not see the 3 smoked heroes still though. They only see Puppy, but they have to know something is wrong. Now they jump in. KP doesn't go down, even though the Finger of Death try to bring him down quickly. Finally, Puppy will finish the job, but RTZ in so deep. Sonic Wave will be thrown out, and he will actually blink away. So low on life, able to escape. The only casualty so far is the Bat Rider, but the man who killed him is left behind by the rest of Secret. So it's a 1-for-1 trade-off, and that tier 1 tower still looks like it's about to die. Newbee are focusing more on the fight. Chuan, a very quick ulti. Pardai are trapped inside. They'll snowball themselves forward, making it difficult for Envy to get a lot of damage out during the rage. He'll still kill off the Disruptor. We're having tit-for-tat trades on this bot lane.
Yeah, but the cores from Newbee stay strong. They're still going to lead the charge, and they even pick off Kaka here, but they don't have any stuns available. This is still a little bit rough. It looks like Secret want to re-engage as RTZ's making his way over, but tower's gonna fall and who's gonna get the last hit out of it? How continues to scale. He's got the Dragon Lance. It doesn't even have to be that close in the fights. 1400 HP. Secret do not really have too much to deal with him unless they just want to blow everything on him. And that just leaves Wu to kind of just have a free fight. Mainly just have the AoE of that Queen of Pain ultimate to deal with him.
Well, right now, this almost looks like the dream early start for Newbee up against Team Secret. They have remained even early on, but now with the tier 1 tower down, Moo's not even leaving. He's staying here with Kaka.
Even though they're trading kills, they're not trading map control. He's taking good control of that so far. They have the bottom half of the map as theirs. You're noticing that cores are even starting to split up. This is usually the designated sign of we know we're ahead.
Yeah. RTZ, at least maybe now with a creep wave behind him on the top lane, they can get their first tier 1 tower of the game. But
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Kaka and KP are on the hunt. Just want one hero. Highlight Die seems to be the punching bag that Newbee just want to go on. It's funny considering is Highlight Die, who's normally doing that heavy amount of burst damage to Bat Rider when he jumps in, but it's mid lane. Out comes Eternal Envy sitting inside that Mud Golem. They go on how he can't get the cooldown off in time. KP will see it, but still be here, and Puppy very aggressively moving up the hill. But Move will now arrive with the cold snap. Puppy's having a hard time getting out. Pardai dragged back into the Chuan Storm. 2 down on the sidelines of Secret with a Deafening Blast. It's going to be 3. Universe can't get away in Eternal Envy. The lone warrior standing on the front lines. He'll try and get himself out of here. The Sonic Wave very split up. It may be enough damage to kill off Kaka with a Veil of Discord buff on him. But RTZ, yep, he will find that kill. Ends up making it again a 3 for 3. The Scream can reach Chorn up on the hillside. He's just trying to be that control factor, and they kept the vision. Dragging RTZ back. On the back of the glimpse, KP will be here. There is no out here for RTZ. He will drop. And this game, 23 kills in 18 minutes. Seems to fire up a lot more.
Both teams understand. Both they're just going to run at each other. I think Secret understood that with this lineup. They decided to draft heavy amount of team fight, investing early into this Night Stalker, trying to get him a lot of impact on the game, but Newbee just naturally have better team fight. You've got a Gyrocopter who can just drop call down into the middle of everything. The Static Storm has been so value for Newbee. They've got some late game factor too with the Invoker on their side. KP's found every single jump in this game. They've always been able to start the fights. Sen's the one at bottom, and even that, Secret had the jump with the smoke, and they just traded evenly.
That's going to be a worrying sign though for Secret, but what do? Do you try and slow down the pace of the game now if Newbee's got this all-out aggressive kind of style?
It's scary. You're in a position where you're taking fights and you know that you have to take drafted around this principle, but you're barely winning in this engagement. And even the engagements that look like they're going okay, Newbee take a tower out of it, they get a little bit more map control, they get deeper wards. The Secret are going to continue to try to barrel through as KP at bottom. This is a clear bait.
The Pilot Eye and Envy, do you want to bite?
They're waiting for nighttime. Envy's going to run forward, but Chuan just might drop the ultimate. He does. They whiffs. Yeah, that was obvious that he was going to drop that. He's like, I'm not even going to chance this.
I'm wondering if he was waiting for KP to also come, because I've seen like in the last 2 fights as well, KP, when he blinks in, he gets the last one, instantly drags a target back into Chuan's ultimate. if you can't catch him out straight.
Yeah, this combo has been so deadly for Newbee. They both set the tone so much, Chuan and KP. In almost all their games, they have something that can sync up together.
Dire's middle tower is under
Team
attack.
Secret. Smoke maneuver to bottom lane. They threw down the Observer Ward. There's only a sentry on the hill from Newbee, so they will not be aware that Observer Ward's up there.
Yeah,
Unless they
they're
can
gonna know.
scout it out.
They're going to scan, see that everybody's behind there, but they don't have their Queen of Pain. He's going to start making his way down.
KP is so visible. Puppey, this time Eternal Envy's going to be back in 9 stalker, but KP, he blinks away.
They know.
Yep.
Gotta disengage now, I think. This is not a fight that you want to take, and Newbee are going to go for their own smoke.
Did that in range of the Obs. KP was just on the edge of the Observer Ward
Dire's
vision.
middle tower
So they should be aware of this. Arteezy will
Pain,
blink
though.
out, and KP
He's got
into the
blink.
Firefly. Arteezy stays around to try and farm it up, so they blink forward. There's your lasso, and with the wall up, Arteezy, Sunstrike, he'll blink himself away, but they still have the vision, which means Arteezy gets dragged back by Glimpse. Trade-off is Puppey takes out that mid tower, and up on top lane, Eternal Envy looking for a little bit more. Kaka in the tree line, so is Smooth. They're both TP themselves back to the mid lane. They're adding a lot of pressure to that tier 2 tower on top, and it's almost down. In fact, Pilot Eye will have to deny this, so it's a tower for a tower, even if one is denied.
Radiant's top tower has
Secret.
been denied.
They're just losing more and more out of these engagements. Whenever the game goes passive at all, Newbee are looking for it. They're even going to go for this Roshan, continuing to play objective-based Dota. Secret's trying to match them at every turn, Toby, and they continue to play aggressively into them, which is something that Newbee rarely sees. Most of the time it's just during their dominant game performances, it's they run at you, you cower at some point. We saw that in the Diggity series. And this one, Secret are trying to apply pressure back, just they don't really quite have the heroes for it.
But it's kind of like you're almost beating your head against a wall, the way you describe it, because right now in Secret, like, they draw for an early fight, but they can't take an early fight. The more the fights go the other way, the stronger Newbee become. You're kind of feeding the monster that is Newbee.
Yeah, and with the Queen of Pain not scaling, she's only at 6.8k net worth, not even touching the 2 top heroes of Newbee, as this Invoker just continues to farm out.
It's hard to actually pick off Newbee as well, because they always seem to be grouped up. Like if you can get like one pick off here and there, like then it seems to make a little bit more sense. But every time Secret seem to smoke up, Newbee are ready for it. Lion, well, okay, that's one thing they can get when Tusker tries to solo up with the help of a Sunstrike up against Pilot Eye.
That was a little bit too greedy. 860 HP as a wand and infused raindrops, yeah, that's not gonna happen.
That actually gives Lion his level 11, thanks to the solo kill.
Not insignificant at all. He's going to catch up in levels to the other 2 heroes. This is usually the bottleneck level anyways. Problem for Secret though is when it comes to experience, they are doing quite well for themselves. Net worth lead is 5k, XP is 4. And I don't even know if I favor Secret's late game. I really like the way that Newbee can take fights. Got a BKB soon on How. I think once he grabs it, they just decided to start going for it.
Be more of a glimmer of hope if Puppey's able to finish up this Aghanim Scepter. He's kind of like removed himself from most of these fights recently, like putting more pressure on Pilot Eye. And he's now 1500 gold away from having the Axe. With the vision advantage over on Newbee, maybe then Team Secret can at least take better fights or know what they're getting into when they run in.
You have options then. Good against the Batrider too, because he's always had to jump, and with the way the Queen of Pain is structured, Disruptor always just naturally does very well against her.
With the Blink Dagger also arriving very soon over on Pilot Eye, there's a Blink initiation that doesn't just rely on Arteezy sacrificing his own positioning, but it's KP again who's on the hunt. He'll blink forward with the 4-star. He was able to reach him in time. They'll drag him back into the sun and the Storm Eternal Envy. He can't walk himself out this one. He's going to try and toggle his way through, but it will not happen. 1 minute without the E.
And that's going to be his dominating spree too. So quite a decent gold bounty for Newbee as he loses 400 gold, they gain 700. Queen of Pain just continues to try to get the Blink Dagger, or the BKB I mean.
Needs more space though. Like this jungle is a very, very crowded place for Team Secret.
Yeah, well, because they just have to hide right now. They don't want to take a direct engagement against an Aegis Gyrocopter when they've already been losing fights. Now that he's got his BKB, why would you take a fight directly into that?
Yep.
You're going to wait for them to push out. You try to outgreed them, push out lanes somewhat aggressively.
That's when Newbee also read what's going to happen. That's the reason why Eternal Envy was out as far as he was and got picked. He may not have expected KP to reach him that early on. Now they just let the tier 2 tower drop. That is the second last remaining outer tower, meaning the tier 2 tower, which is already injured on the bottom lane, is the final outer tower for Newbee to remove.
Batrider going for the 8th lens now too, and
bottom lane. Hello, Moo's going to arrive, stun on Puppey. He can't TP out in time. He instantly tapped that TP the second he saw the TP arriving from Moo, but it's all too late. Moo just got one of the easiest solo pickoffs I've seen this game.
Kills like that just normally don't appear for you as a solo core, not in Dota anymore, considering how often teams go for straight up strategic team fights. So for him to walk away with that one quite big is KP looking for it.
Well, there's your jump. The Sunstrike's over on Pylai died. Pylai died, thought he had the advantage with the observer board a little bit higher up, and now in comes KP. The Firefly's down, the Snowball protecting the Tusker for the moment. And that's actually 2 heroes down the sidelines. The Tusker will still die thanks to Arteezy's movement. But while all this is going on, the Gyro still takes out the tier 2 tower.
Yeah, and now they get some control of this jungle again. They got a ward up there too in the space that Time Secret are going to try to farm at. Eternal Envy for an SNY of his own. You do have the Queen of Pain BKB now. That's a significant item pickup, but Newbee just continue to scale. Cores are just racking up the gold. I didn't even realize it, but How just continues to stack the Ancients, even during off periods. So even when you start to see glimmers of hope for Secret, he just kind of shuts it down again.
Then you realize you're 27 minutes in with an SMY BKB Gyro, and you can start building into a damage dealing item.
Oh, don't worry, he's gonna get a little bit bigger.
Yeah. What do you even worry? Like, what do you even go over on How right now?
Butterfly is a good option.
Butterfly?
Nigh impossible to kill him as Secret.
Like, no one's gonna build a Monkey King bar.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Even if it's good on any of these heroes, like no one's got enough money for it.
You've already got a lot. You can deal with a lot of the magic damage too, since you already have a BKB. They have a lot of ways to save him too. The Batrider has a 4-staff. Your Tusk obviously can do Tusk things. We've seen it time and time again. Kaka picks somebody up at the last second.
There it is. How picks up the Eagle Song, so it will be a butterfly build, unless he goes full Mushi. Newbee are going to smoke up. Puppey. Smoke's going to break on Kaka. He knows someone's over there. KP into the Firefly. And with a blink forward, they lasso. And Puppey, he just did fly up the Aghanim Scepter. But at least he has that, but he'll also have 45 seconds in the Sin Bin.
And Moo just continues to push out bottom. Secret, they're kind of in a tough spot right now. Getting hemmed inside their base. Not a whole lot of farm to go around their map. But the good news though is that Puppey has that Axe completed like you said, so it's going to help them take these fights. How has lost the Aegis now, and so going for the high ground attempt is going to be somewhat dangerous. He's going to get alacritied up and chips away at the tower so quickly, but
he's doing about 350 damage a pop.
Yeah, Secret have options. They can jump with Universe too. Alidai is going to start it, but How obviously not being the ideal target here for them.
Yeah, they really... Universe also just wants to jump in. Like, they've got an EE inside Universe with that Blink Dagger, potentially a VAC combo, but Newbee aren't giving him an opening.
That is
like, How was the only one which they could have initiated on thanks to Newbee's positioning.
Yeah, that's got to be really frustrating for Secret. They were completely prepared to take a fight. They were trying to, but
they're coming out.
From Newbee, he might just be a little bit too far.
With that Ag, he can still see it, but Kaka moves over. Now the Veil Discord doesn't really matter when How triggers a BKB. Puppey locked inside the shards. Arteezy comes in as well, but KP lassos. Arteezy can't do any damage. Puppey escaping on such low life that the problem is the rest of his team went in. They managed to get a 1-for-1 trade-off. EE, you can't just run yourself away from this until the Ravage stun there from Pylai dies. Hitting on 3 heroes, but they just snowball up. They're chasing up after Arteezy. Pylai controlled by Moo as well as Sean. Puppey coming back in to try and help out, but Moo's already on the double kill. How is so low? Can they find it with the Shadow Strike? He's already low. One more attack will do the work. The Sigil will pop. How wants to try and TP out? He won't get out though. EE will finally get it. A Puppey is still on the run, surviving. Sean will start his TP.
So
they
confused.
will not cancel that at the moment. Puppey is just trying to juke out absolutely everything. But Moo is on the run.
He is just covering all angles.
I think he's worried there's also Observer Wars that could just sunstrike his kill.
His movement looks so funny right now because he's just jerking back and forth, making sure that nothing happens to him. Even his way back to the fountain was just fraught with danger because of the sunstrike, and trying to make absolute sure there's no angles for that. But finally a fight which goes somewhat okay for Secret. They take the fight outside the base. They manage to grab the gyrocopter. They got that last hit. Puppey baited that for so long in that fight.
This starts to mean items will arrive. TZ actually picked up the Mystic Staff, so it is the Shivas. Surprisingly, didn't just go in for the plate mail. Or is this meant to be more of like a disable item?
I don't know. I think in this kind of game, I'm not really sure. It just leaves you options more than anything. You don't necessarily have to go for Shivas off the bat. You could go for the Hex of your own just to be able to grab the Invoker, because that's a hero that eventually you're going to have to deal with. Like, this guy's 6'1" and 9 and right. 17,000 net worth in the game.
Be is so close as well. I mean, Secret is so close. Now they see it, but it's already too late. Moo drops the meteorite and TP's out.
His game sense has just been really on the ball so far. That's the thing about Invoker that's so frustrating, is he doesn't really leave you a lot of angles to gank him at. That's why you might have to see one of those initiation items out of Secret. You do have the Blink Dagger on the Lion, but most likely going to be a Shiva's Guard on Queen of Pain anyways.
I'd love to actually have a count, like a timer. How long has Eternal Envy remained infested in his allies? And he's still up at like the top net worth for the Radiant side.
He's done a good job of trying to keep up with the cores, despite being down towers and the Roshan gold at the same time. It's been kind of rough for them, but right now it's going to get even harder as Chuan has that Glimmer Cape. He had it in the previous fight too, but can't really carry on detection on these heroes. The only person that probably can is maybe Puppy. Lion probably goes down too early in the fights. Cores have item slots that they don't necessarily want to give up right now.
Unless you just sort of like dust on Pile I Die and accept the fact he's going to die.
Yeah, that's maybe the option here. Because right now Chuan's positioning is immaculate in these fights. He had those 2 deaths early, but since then he's been really hard to kill. Already has level 13 for himself. We see...
They buy it. They buy the detection over for Puppy. It's going to be the gem. Gem and Ags. Newbee is just waiting for Roshan. That's all. And he's up in about 15 seconds time.
There's no reason to take a fight outside your base right now. Now that fight was predicated on Puppy being alive for 3,000 years and giving them full vision of the engagement. And the fact that Hao and Moo couldn't really ever connect with anything. Like, that call down completely whipped on everybody, but once you grab the Aegis you have options. But Secret, they understand the exact same thing. They don't have a scan of available, so they don't know about the movement shift, but they do know that he wants to go for the Aegis for themselves.
Maybe have their own scan available too. So if a Secret, they're moving the sigil down. So Newbee's got the fact that Roshan is alive. They want to attack into this. Okay, you just lost an Observer Ward out the front of the Roshan pit. You know something
that might have been
wrong.
Telling. Wards don't just disappear like that.
But Newbee, all 5 of them go inside the base. I know you say you don't want to take a fight outside the base, but do you want to leave like the rest of the map for Secret to run on themselves? Okay, no. They moved them out themselves.
It's more about you. They're smoked up. Why bother going down into them? Make sure that you get the jump first. You don't want to try to initiate in just because the Night Stalker has the Aghanim Scepter. So if you're smoked up on Newbee, you have a much better chance of taking this fight. Plus, the night was about to end from Night Stalker. Like, why bother pushing that base when you know they so heavily rely on that one attempt? Now that that one attempt is gone, there's no way that Secret fight. Yeah. Even with Roshan being accomplished right now, they 100% know that this is happening, but without the nighttime on Night Stalker, why bother? All of these things kind of synced up for Secret to maybe hit a good timing.
But then Newbee just dodge.
Yeah, they're smart. They know what's going on in this game. They're reading this so well.
With an Aegis Immortal behind him and a full butterfly over on the gyrocopter, maybe now's the time we start to look towards the bottom lane.
Yeah, they're already going to TP Moo down here. Secret have to get back right now. Got to set up for this next engagement.
It looks so good for this one. He's already finished the Octarine Corner, still sitting on 2.3k gold. You could actually have like double Moo in the next fight. Just buy back and BT in if they feel like they can just like force out all advantage, but you may not even require that. Alacrity again over on Hal. He got the extra armor thanks to Wild Wing Ripper. Well, okay, maybe not anymore. Because he converts the catapult to the Radiant side. They get more siege. But this merely racks these numbers, and Secret's got no other choice, but what are you going to do? You're going to trigger Darkness? You've already lost your bottom racks, and it seems like they're just accepting of this.
Yeah, that bottom fight is really hard for them to take. They would have been completely set up, and the biggest issue is, well, you're just not going to fight into that gyro.
But you're going to be forced to, right? Like you BT Moo up to the top lane, he'll TP back in towards the mid in 20 seconds, and then Newbee just go again.
Hey, it sounds like a cool concept, but let's just take a fight, but this is lose-lose situation. You don't want to fight into them because they're scary and they have a lot of farm. So instead, they're going to look for the pick-off.
What's the phrase I hear you say a lot? Like, you're not gonna like it, but you have to take it.
Yeah, you're just not gonna like fights like that, but that one you can get away with because Newbee didn't continue to push.
Yep. But it's only a matter of time before Newbee come back. Like, they've only burned a minute and a half of that Aegis time.
Still a good situation, I think, overall for both teams. That's one of those situations where Newbee are happy. They're like, oh, this is a free Rax, and Secret's like, thank God they didn't keep going.
Time to buy up something new.
Yeah. For Secret right now, it's all about the lane, because they want to make sure if they do take the next fight, either the Aegis is low, like there's only a minute left on it, and maybe they can just poke, or it's gone entirely. So they're trying to dodge, get whatever gold they can out of this top lane, push out the lane 2 just so that your creeps pressure, try to get Newbee to come back, but I think this is kind of Newbee's time to go for it.
Secret actually look like they're in a position where they want Newbee to defend this, but Newbee don't really seem to care. Like, they have the mid lane under control, the TPs are coming back. Moose still got BT, so he's the man to defend the top lane, and then to rejoin the rest of his team. So yeah, Newbee don't really lose much.
Because Newbee know they push faster. They're not worried at all. They understand, okay, Secret, you're not going to come back. Well, even if you get 1 Rax out of this, our other tier 2s are still up. Even the dire tier 1 bottom is still alive too. So at most, you get 1 Rax for 1 Rax, and then Newbee just go down top lane and end the game.
Alright. This freaks you out a little bit when you see a Radiant Catapult moving towards the Dire side and a TP coming onto it in the middle of an entire Dire team. But it's still the dominated creep, hence Moo now will arrive. That courier bringing back on at the moment is actually the finished AC for the life sealer. So before this fight happens, at least they've got something to work with. Arteezy jumping forward, they go straight on KP. They were able to bring him down, and with the Hex over on Hal, Arteezy may just try and keep this going. He's still got Sonic Wave available.
Really good pickoff though. I think this is gonna force Newbee to reset.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
They don't have their engager.
They're not gonna bother pushing this pace. Aegis is probably gonna go down before the next fight too. They don't even lose their tier 3 tower, and that's a sick engage for Team Secret as they hold.
That's breathing room more than anything else.
Exactly.
But they still have like major issues that the Invoker and the Gyrocopter are just so far ahead. Like this is almost like Newbee playing safe, but if Secret can force some kind of issue, Chuan looks like he's looking for that too. They go and find Pylite Die. They need the vision, however, on Pylite Die. The cooldown will happen. They can't drag him back into the storm. Now Envy forced to jump back out again. You can already say goodbye to the line. The Darkseer wall, but it's also binding up with the Ice Wall. Kaka, he can't run himself out of here. Moves BKB, tries to protect it, but he's losing his support. How is still locked here. He's trying to go for more. How does he have enough damage? Can he survive? Of course he can't. He's surrounded by the entire lineup of Team Secret. KP is back into the fight, however. He's got Blink Lasso. He'll grab up Puppy, pulling him in. This is the gem of True Sight, which will be lost here for Team Secret. Not to mention their vision advantage. But that's still the best fight we've seen from Secret in 38 minutes and 33 seconds.
I feel like they were just going to trade 2 for 1 and maybe even walk out of there, but Puppy at the last second comes in, kind of says, what I miss, guys. Immediately loses a gem, which makes that trade well worth it for Newbee. I think they're down to trade one of their supports for getting rid of some of the vision game and forcing Secret to rebuy that gem, which still isn't available for them yet. But Lifestealer looks good in these engagements right now. At the same time, Hal's got that Satanic.
Yeah, I underestimated his survivability when he's got that thing. He still needs to find a little bit more damage, but
it's still a really sick fight.
He's got the Invoker Alacrity, so do you really need to?
Yeah, that was still a really sick fight by Secret. They sidestep most of what Newbee had to offer. They delay the game even more. They take out the Aegis too, just resetting things. There's going to be a BKB than 1 KP soon, and so now it's going to get harder to start the fights on him. And now that he's got a free gem picked up for him, he's in even better position than he once was.
I think Envy's just going to be really happy he's able to dish out damage during that fight.
Yeah.
Like, somehow he managed to find himself perfectly. I say somehow, thanks to the teamwork of his team to put him in that spot, but okay, maybe not this spot. KP blinks away.
He is in a scary spot right now by himself.
He's expecting the rest of Secret to be behind him. That's the reason why KP blinks like that.
Yeah,
but now they realize that he's by himself. But Moo's got no maneuverability. Like, he doesn't have a blink dagger on him, so...
That looked weird. He just kind of ran away from them all.
Yeah.
Just kept popping the phase boots. Doubt they didn't have any range on the glimpse. He had the rage too. He had to get the Batrider in position to get the kill.
That really could have just been a repeat of what happened about 20 minutes ago. Except, I don't think you could blame KP for being defensive. You see a lifestealer walking into your jungle, bold as brass, you expect him to have someone behind him.
It's one of those weird situations again where neither of them wanted to see each other.
Got it.
Is he farming? KP's close to his BKB, doesn't want to die. Eternal Envy just wants to camp that's not being farmed up by a dire side.
By playing dire side too, you can just wait for the rinse and repeat cycle of going for the Roshan and force the Radiant to leave their base, which is what happened in the last engagement. And if Radiant don't find that engagement immediately, then they just have to run away dire, get the high ground by just holding this area right here. For Aegis, you go for the high ground and it's almost entirely on Secret to try to win the game. Newbee are just playing this really well. Like, they understand the rhythm of the game, they understand what they can abuse on dire side, just disengaging, they're not pushing things too far.
They're playing it safe and controlled. They have 1 minute until Roshan could spawn up. They just keep the farm going. In the meantime, Eternal Envy has been hitching a ride, playing no hands for the last minute. He's still here with Arteezy. Arteezy actually got a fair chunk of cash saved up. 0.9k, he did finish that Shiva's guard before. We saw him pushing it up on the top lane like a long time ago. But now with a 5.2k, you try and find more damage out of Arteezy? Or do you try and delay the game even more? Like, how do you do that? Do you go for Rags? Do you go for Disable?
Going for a Hex is a good spot right now. Unless he's going to go for something defensive. But
he actually just bought a Void Stone on the Courier, so it looks like it will be a Scythe.
Yeah, I would imagine it to be. There's no other one item right now that would help out a Queen of Pain more.
I think that Dire Observer Ward, however, scattered the movement. But, okay, yeah, Newbee's not going to be able to snipe it out.
Gonna buy it in full. Okay. Not going for the buyback here. Gonna go for the one-off fight, and it's a good play. Because if his entire time, it's liable that his team just dies before him, and in that situation it matters more whether they have buyback or not. Which they don't. So they're just playing for the win right now, which, you know me, play to win, not to not lose.
I wonder if they're going to burn their last smoke. They've only got one in stock at the moment. But try and make something out of it. Like, the bottom lane is pushing in. This is the downside. Because the second this wave pushes in, obviously Newbee's going to know that Secret are out looking for him.
Yeah.
And it will be a 1 minute now until Roshan spawns.
I think what you do is Universe just Ion Shells the mid wave, push it in further. You can do that, then just immediately go for the Roshan fight. But while bottom is pushing in, you gotta kind of hurry things up. Like, Universe probably just Ion Shells, then runs. This is like a classic, smoked up play.
Yeah.
Yeah, once that bottom lane pushes in, but they might actually get the jump here. They've got the Hex.
They need a target. They also need vision. We're still in daytime. But the second puppy also triggers nighttime. It's a pretty big indication. So they'll trigger darkness.
Maybe they get How here.
He's still on the back lines. And How still also has BKB and Satanic. That's a very difficult target to kill.
Okay, so yeah, you're right. As soon as the Night Stalker popped that, they were like, retreat, we have no vision. This looks so unbelievably scary. Newbee could have feasibly lost that fight if the Queen of Pain gets the Blink Hex onto the Gyrocopter. They have more than enough burst damage to take him down, but game sense from Newbee. It was an awkward situation because Puppy obviously doesn't realize how close he is to the rest of their team. So he has to just pop that ultimate and say, whatever. Hopefully I catch somebody out with this. But for Newbee, that's kind of the trigger there. They themselves, why would Night Stalker just randomly pop the ultimate right now? It's so valuable to hold on to.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense. So they just bail out. Also, there's no risk. You're worrying, well, maybe then Secret try and take Roshan when they trigger off the darkness. They just throw a sigil over the top of the pit. Newbee don't have to sacrifice anything apart from something which they're willing to sacrifice. They are also going to lose their vision. Puppy, the new gem came off cooldown. So they have the ability to get rid of at least 2 out of the 4 Observer Wards which are currently on the field for Newbee.
This is a really decent time now to engage. All your lanes are pushed in, Secret. They're going to have vision too.
But Roshan's so low, can they finish it in time? For tries to create space, but they go for KP instead. The Batrider up on the hill, gets the BKB, obviously still dies to the attack of Arteezy, and well, Gyrocopter, he takes the Aegis, the Immortal. Secret Man got the last hit on Roshan, but immortality belongs to Gyro. He chases Pilot out at the back of the tree line, while Karka being chased down by Arteezy, who's on a triple kill at the moment. He'll lose his teammate as well as the gem with it. Where do they run to from here? Puppy wants to keep the track going. It's over on How and Moo. He has that gem of true sight in his hand, so if he can close the distance between himself as well as Moo,
The greatest game.
He's a freaking ghost war.
Alright, Moo can just get out, but he wants to ensure that Hao isn't left 1v5. So he's gonna kind of protect him, Secret Service-like, as TZ continues to jump forward, but it's just still a hard catch for them.
Just keep running. TZ, he's not gonna reach him.
Yeah.
The courier is also doing the work to pick up that gem of true sight that was dropped by Newbee inside the pit.
That was well done.
So now Secret actually controlled both the gems too.
There's just a hard fight to take because Newbee, they didn't really have the best vision. Puppy obviously with the Ags, that made the big difference there is it allowed the two cores of Secret the hit and run game. They were able to obliterate the back line, which has been so successful for Newbee. Oftentimes, what ends up happening is that Chuan's and Kaka, their positioning is so good that they're usually able to just use spells at the right times, wait out the BKB, get the Disruptor ultimate off, but by bringing the fight to them with the Blink, made it really hard for them to survive.
Yeah, and KP again also popping at the very, very start of a fight.
Yeah, he blinked in, got hit by the Queen of Pain ultimate, didn't really have the angle at that point. Now that's a really rich Queen of Pain. We're really caught up back into this game. The Night Stalker Eggs, of course, making all the difference in most of these engagements too.
You still have the primary issue that Newbee have an Aegis Immortal in their hands.
Yeah.
Like, it's an enabler for them to get a second lane of racks, so they still have that advantage too. But Puppy in towards the middle lane, the BTs are coming forward. They don't kill that range creep off in time, which means Moo is on the front lines. The call down, KP finally gets himself the last two. They hold RTZ in position, will bring him down, and also Universe trapped inside that storm. The tunnel can't go anywhere, locked in by the icy shards of death. Moo will grab that double kill. 3 heroes on the sideline. Both EE as well as RTZ have buyback and they will both have to expend it. They cannot let Newbee take another lane of racks. They still have also a Puppy behind the lines, giving them the vision on Newbee. It'll last a little bit longer, but Newbee are going to commit to this. They still have the Aegis Immortal on Hao, not to mention the fact he just triggers Satanic as well, and they snowball protect him.
Anybody dies at this point for Secret.
RTZ looks really close to it. Cold Snap, your blink away, a nice stun. Slows down the attack, but Newbee kind of got everything they want. They've already taken down the melee racks. Unless they're going to go for a full GG push, Finger of Death over on Hao. He'll still survive in 40 seconds because the panic back is Robert's up easy. Locked on the front line. The wall is up. You drop the meteorite, deafening blast, Tunnel Envy just wheeling back. And this could be it right now. Secret have lost too much, and there it is. Good game, well played. Newbee will take game number 1 in almost a surgical attack up against Team Secret.
Very well done by Newbee in all these engagements. Secret understand if they just allow them to passively get up the hill, the game is over. Newbee's just going to sit behind their gyrocopter, allow them to continually get alacrity. It's too hard to kill him. So Secret make the jump, but it's just so awkward because you're still jumping into an Aegis gyrocopter. They saw the Invoker atop, they said maybe we can jump one hero, burst him down really quickly, but lose-lose situation is they just keep hiding behind Hao.
Man, I don't even know how Secret was meant to come back. Like, we were here, we were clutching at straws.